32. As we go to Love FM's or Love Television Studios for tonight's broadcast of The Business Hour.
Good night, Belize. Good night, world. It's the most anticipated show on a Monday night in country, Belize, the Business Hour for Movers and Shakers right here on Love Television, Love FM. I'm joined in studio by my co-host, Troy Galb. I'm your host, Daryl Carter. And here are some of the things, Belize, which we would like to talk about. We got to say welcome to the month of August, which is going to cool things down. As you understand, we're only there in the third day and rain don't pop up already, and it looks like it's going to be continuing in that direction. But August normally propelled us into our celebration month, which is September right here around the bend. And in September, we have so many days of Bacchanalian, because from the 10th to the 21st is what it's all about. Where the celebration is the 10th, so your whole days in there, but Troy is putting it to the 1st, so we'll accept that. However, they give the okay. What it does is to highlight though certain things about Land of the Free, and one of the things which we mentioned it in our second position, but when you come across this side of the New World, Belize has the longest living barrier reef in this side of the world. No other country have it. Then we have the Blue Hole, which Jacques Cousteau came and found and made it pronounced in the ocean magazines and in a documentary that he did, and then only speaking English nation in this part of the Central Americas. We have several things that stands out for us, and so we really and truly welcome that and celebrate it. We big up the Belize City Council for its Emancipation Day celebration, Bakayi Butong. That is critical in sense of keeping alive this great conversation and when it happen to the people them of Africa and how they end up in Jamaica and how they end up dispersed in all over. As for me, I don't hold on to the chains of slavery or in that capacity there, primarily because people want chance you as long as they are mightier than you. They will send their army, and this has been happening historically from mankind start to develop. And the minute you can't do it, ask the Romans, you'll find out. Ask the Rome, what happened to Rome when they couldn't defend themselves anymore? They themselves that were conquerors and slave masters got run over by the one when we're stronger, when we're better. So that for me is the underlying threat. So today, really coming at the farm at the gun, really coming at the farm of the army soldiers, except for the United States who sent for Maduro and showed us that they still play the same game. For me, it's that subliminal underlining that takes place, and even our own locals you have to be careful of, because yes, the colonial master left, but the legacy of the new colonial master continues to reign in us.
I think it's a very timely and very beneficial discussion to continue to have, because I made the point this morning for the same reason as you're pointing out, that we have to be very careful that we don't find ourselves sitting around waiting for something to come our way as a result of whatever it is, slavery or whatever. We use this buzzword reparation. I am not a fan of that terminology I'm not a fan of it, and
Me
pardon
neither, me neither.
And,
I'm going down that road.
and I don't have no apology because I come from outside. If that, and I believe that qualifies me to be as what you would call disenfranchised as you could have possibly got.
Yeah.
You know, in the circumstances. I always say you have to seize your moment. You know, you could look back at every opportunity that presented itself, whether you seized it or not, and what it did for you. You know, because I felt there were some key moments in my life that I could have go so or go so.
Mm-hmm.
And so you decided to take the path that you felt that, yes, had hard work involved with it, and therefore it paid off for the most part. I don't think I reached anywhere to call myself to be anywhere successful as an individual, but at least I can sit here and chat at my age.
I won't accept that.
So,
you are.
But what I would say,
Yeah.
is that there is that mentality that we talk about from time to time, and I think you coined it properly to say, listen, we need to understand where we come from, where we came from, what occurred, and so, but leave it there, just as that. It's history to guide us so we don't go back there, so we don't repeat ourselves. But we have to move forward. There are some pockets within our society, and every now and again I get into these discussions where there's certain pockets of persons who create this level of disenfranchisement to create this level of inferior complex.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurts. It hurts individual mindset because that creates a shackle, a mental shackle that doesn't have to be there. So we have to reach a point where we can rise above. If somebody throw a bag of money our way and call it reparation, good when it comes. But I'm urging nobody should be waiting around for that. There's a strong possibility it will never come.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't come, what happens?
Yeah.
You die waiting.
Mm-hmm.
You die missing all the opportunities because you're constantly at the same reason. Oh, there's somebody to do me something. Some white man, some this, somebody to oppress me. I said this morning, everything that's happening to us is us. It's all us. Everything that we see happening is not happening by anybody alien to this country. It's a person that has a passport like me and you, a person who may have born here like me and you. It's happening here. So pay attention.
Yeah.
Pay attention and stop worry about the fact that some king somewhere will decide at some point to apologize or some nonsense for something that you weren't born yet or even around for. And I'm saying, when are we going to stop? And I made this point again, Darrell, and I think you could relate readily to it. When we grew up on the right side of town, close to Albert Street, where was the hustle and the bustle.
Mm-hmm.
We never know we grew up that south side.
Yeah.
We never know we grew up that some destitute area.
Yeah, that came afterwards.
We were indoctrinated to think that way.
Yeah.
We got anthropologists like Herbert Gale could tell you what's wrong with we, and I go like, for God's sake, we know what's wrong with we.
Mm-hmm.
What is wrong with us is us.
Yeah.
You don't need nobody to tell us, because I don't care how much you tell us, that will not change us until we decide that we have reached a point where we need to change, and we recognize that we have that level of deficiency, and we need to break that chain.
Mm-hmm.
We need to break that chain. But we have to do that. We have to realize that, you know what? The man they decide to give you a free education. Well, we have to take that.
Yes.
Whether the academic or vocational, we have to take that.
Yeah.
And we have to seize that moment.
Right.
And do what I have to do for myself. I didn't have that opportunity.
We did not.
I never had no free nothing.
Yeah, we had to negotiate.
I had to get a scholarship. Thankful for good people that assisted me, and I thank God and pray for them every time who gave the assistance as I went through my schooling.
Right.
And as I got older, I was able to finance my further studies to the point of earning my master's degree. But the point, and even then you got support.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is that the opportunities are there more than ever.
Yes.
Abundant more than ever under our system, not the colonial master system. All those persons who talk about the good old days, I keep reminding you that's a colonial time. where the governor was running things. We only made it confuse ourselves and think we run things. The white man run things. We still don't run things, you know, because sovereignty means that you're independent. We're not totally independent because we're living in a global village. But a lot of what we do in terms of our self-determination or personal self-determination, we can take charge of it. So anybody hearing me tonight, I ain't not talking from no gold spoon standpoint. I talk from somebody who grew up the Yabra, who grew up the Sopal Street, who grew up the Wait Street, and that entire area, so that people can understand that you can make difference for yourself with the opportunity that exists. So every child, every parent, make sure your child go to school at minimum. Make it seize the moment.
Right.
And if you're not academically inclined, it must be vocationally inclined. Free. And there's no new legislation there for IT vets. I applaud that so that it can be a standalone now. You know?
Yeah.
We grew up under the technical college era. That was our vocational school at that time. And then subsequently, when that disappeared, then you had the Center for Employment Training set. But now we have true vocational centers where persons go learn plumbing, electrical, air conditioning, you name it, in a vocational field. As I mentioned this morning, these people earn excellent money, and no building can build without none of their people.
You need the AC, you need this, you need all of that.
So
that's a good input, certainly.
Don't overlook the opportunities that are there.
I want to say that my trip around the market exposes ideas to me which I believe we can follow on. We need to seize the opportunity and seal up the canal that we did for the Lee Police Station and another Lee booth that is there, but primarily in terms of sealing it up so we add more room for taxi stands, we add more room for the exit of the buses that has to come out and then turn in at the people there and then cross over the bridge and then come back over the side. And certainly it would do the same all the way down to Iguana. So we think from the bridge, the first bridge, all the way down to Iguana, seal over the canal, left whatever little holes that needs to be in there for cleaning, whatever, and make that move from there. Another observation that I've seen is that after Hurricane Lisa, you have several lampposts that are still leaning, especially on Carousel Street, primarily between Vernon Street and Cemetery Road itself. And then when I go on the highway itself, the George Rice Highway, I see several of them leaning, and I'm asking myself, what happened? The people from BL and not really see it. What happened? The ministers don't really see it. Nobody don't really see this is something waiting to happen, to drop on top of way or something of the sort. We need, it's fixable. All you need to do is to jack it up, make sure you put a hole down there and some cement and rock and stone and get it to where it needs. But to leave it just like that, and I'm telling you, it'll bend more, Troy.
Yeah.
All right.
It will eventually.
It's bending even more.
Eventually, gravity will play its role.
Yeah. So we know why it drop and then it come down to that.
It bring down other wires with it.
GST back to school is August 15th, and we certainly welcome that because we do that give a relief on mothers, especially the parents who buy all the stuff again and getting their kids back to school.
GST free weekend.
Yeah. One of the things we raise at the business hour is that there used to be actually a library, a school book library that sell books to all the students that I could recall. This was on Daly Street way back then. And we just say, well, it's time for you to, reconsider it, make it bigger, make it a little bit more whatever, but bring it that you could keep the books at a limited price and have them available for people and take it in that era.
Eventually, books are get outdated and be devices,
But we're not-
e-books.
yeah,
we're
we're
almost
getting-
there.
okay.
Most high school kids are given tablet devices and they're getting access to reading materials and
Yeah.
so the
But they're still
the
buying up-
physical
they're still
paper
buying up-
book
Still buying up
at
the
so-
list of books that I
at
see.
some point it's going to get a little bit obsolete for the most part, no? But you know, for those persons who
No,
still
you're right.
still
You're
read,
totally right. No, but I see parents on the south side still have their list of books, going about trying to get those books and what have you. Tribute to Lucky Dube Day is Sunday right here on Bird's Isle, and certainly we big up Dara and his team putting that together. That is always one of the things which I always say you never all that lucky, because for you being Lucky Dube and you know, being shot and killed the way that happened, you never all that lucky. But I understand, and certainly.
what's in her name, Darrell? What's in her name?
Well, a lot is in the name. We went to school and no child named Jezebel. I'm telling you, none never named Jezebel. Okay? And then you had others that I could think about that the boys they never named or went down that road.
All right, then.
All right?
Here are you.
The Auditor General, we congratulate her and her office in terms of seeking greater independence, in terms of overlooking the expenditure of Belize money in the system itself. And based on what I'm hearing from the government side, they don't have a bit of problem with it. And so we look at some improvements that are coming, some that have already been made, and certainly look forward in getting more. You can't wait till 5 years, you can't wait till 10 years. You have to be up to time, you have to be up to date in terms of getting those information out, and so that is good there. A lot of people felt joyous or what have you when you heard the news that Brad's case of the waiving of the $4.3 million has been stalled in the High Court. But my understanding is that it don't stop there. My understanding is that you can still appeal. And so you have to wait for the conclusion of the matter in terms of moving forward.
What happened?
Huh?
I follow you. What? I thought the case was in favor of the government.
The case was in favor of the government, yes,
so what,
but then
something
I'm
as
saying
though
that they can still appeal.
Who?
They still have, brothers, they can still appeal.
Oh yeah, but
all right,
but
and so
that's-
it's not final yet. You know, everybody. the way
every
you- but
legal
you have to
matter
say
is not final till
you
it gets
have
to the
to-
CCJ. So
Right.
that's a
You know?
foregone conclusion.
So you
It's
look
how
at
much you
that.
want to pursue. But the point
Right.
is that what the court ruled on is that it's saying it didn't say that there was a short that you should not appeal. There is a process. I always talk about due process here.
Mm-hmm.
The court says you have a problem with the assessment, then you can appeal to the tax appeal board. There is a board in the first instance. So the court ruled that what they were trying to do was an abuse of the court's power. You kind of put the horse ahead of the cart. It says go there first, if anything, and then because more than likely that's what the claimants are going to end up doing.
Right.
Is go back, but it doesn't stop them from the tax office from say pay me my money. The court says that what you were that relief you were asking for you did not get,
Mm-hmm.
and so you have to pay 50% of the cost, and you have to pay the tax that is due. If they want to still appeal to the tax appeal board, I believe that they have that right to still proceed, and then subsequently you could then proceed to the court at some point if you believe that you have a case to be heard.
Yeah.
But the point I think that the court made is that you have to follow due process.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the next step is you make an appeal to the tax.
With the Big Up
Appeal
Belize
board.
Bank and all those others who are helping our kids, they gave out 16 new scholarships. And certainly we welcome that. And others who are doing their part as well, even church groups that are coming in, that are making this available.
And the government as well, Darrell, because we can't underscore the amount of help a lot of kids are getting, especially those in private schools. They're getting support because remember, government-aided schools are already getting free tuition and or free education for that matter, and I put it in quotation so we don't get carried away.
Yeah.
But you have other persons who are going to some of the other schools that are not considered government-aided schools that they still get government support.
And listening to the Minister Honorable Francis Fonseca, I am of the opinion that they are considering rolling out free education right throughout the whole of Belize. The timing of it is kind of just holding back, but that's the goal, that's the concept, that's the idea, and I'm certainly bigging that up. Inflation is up, haven't gone down. The SIS report says 4.6% higher, and so, but we know that. And those of you who shop, who stretch your money or what have you, you take on 20, you realize it busts up very quickly and disappears. And so you have to be very prudent. You have to be very strict in terms of your decisions that you make, and certainly watch the money that you spend.
Watch it.
Big up birthday to Super G, who is turning 50. And I guess Saturday right here, August the 8th, they'll be celebrating his birthday and everybody want to party, and Super G will be breaking it down, and that's what it goes. We say congrats also to Belize basketballers who beat up Guatemala at the Central American and Caribbean Games. We certainly have to.
Well, quick update is that you're way behind. Belize won bronze today. We beat Mexico 80-70. Yeah, Guatemala was last week Thursday, I think it was, and then we subsequently played and lost to Puerto Rico on Saturday, and we played Mexico today at 4 this evening, and we won 80-70. So we're the bronze medalists. I think right now the gold medal game is on between Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
So that's on right now. I'm not quite sure how that's going. I do have the link, but being on air, I can't.
Okay.
But, somebody having the score, but that's not too important for us.
But we did a third. We're
bronze. We are bronze. We're bringing back some hardware. So congratulations are in order.
To the team.
Yeah, we lost a game. I think I don't regret the Puerto Rico game. I already had foresaw that team was there was a much larger team in size and a little bit more athletic. But the Dominican Republic game, I was upset that we lost that game because that game was on Wednesday, I think it was, and that's a game we should have won.
Okay, a play called a woman called Nora is coming also on September the 11th, and Love FM, Love Television will be carrying that part of that great conversation, and certainly you all are invited to go and take a look at that presentation itself in this play, as it highlights a historical point in country Belize where a woman was actually hanged in country Belize way back then. Okay, and I gotta point out that I did my little homework to try to find out this old breadfruit tree where they're at corner of Bishop Street, next door to where the Betson family live and where Hartman Hill live and so forth. How old is that tree? And Troy, they came up with like 125 years old.
Oh, wow.
And the tree is still producing breadfruit, still have it on it right now.
All right.
It has been there since I am a baby, and it has been there since Mr. Betson was a baby, and they are telling me, they give me some historical facts about 125. My gosh.
Might be the after we're
You
gone.
know? And you gotta be hey, it's one of the oldest tree around. I guess you guys see it and just maybe fly past it, but you know,
Yeah.
we
I'm familiar with it.
keep
True.
a track of it and take it certainly from there. We got to big up the sports for the kids, the youngsters at Berger Field on the weekend as well. They go there. Football is at its best, and they are filling in. This has some very game changer in terms of their mindsets, in terms of discipline, and so forth. So we got to big that up because every Saturday I see them going and coming back in the evening with their boots and what have you. And I'm very pleased to see that in that era right there. All right. Apart from that, the two crossover for the bridges are continuing. If you pay notice to it, they're getting across there. They're getting across there on both sides. And so you are looking for two new bridges. Take down the old one, two new ones going up, and I believe that it will be in time as I'm looking and I'm seeing how people are moving around in these particular areas. You got to say kudos to that because the old swing bridge has been there for a very, very long time. And certainly the same in terms of the Belcan, which is now getting a new lift.
Good night, caller.
Hey, Troy, that's a big move.
Yeah, John, what's up?
Troy, I know the campaign, but I have to tell you this point that, prolong half an hour, this good program. You understand the television where we could download and find out ourselves. We need to get to the business at this hour.
All right.
Now,
Tell me.
my first thing, Troy, I congratulate you because where you, Mr. Abo, where you open up the program with, we were stars glittering in the dark. Yeah, from Southside, from Dangriga. Yeah. But we lose because of knowledge, information. Information is wealth. And some people hide the information. I know, cut no bone shot nor scrape it. Some people hide the information from we. And I want to make we agree from this, Joy, that when you talk most of the time and I listen, you only talk about 1/3 of this country. You know, you talk about this whole country. This country good. You talk about the 1/3 where they suffer. I see that at Venezuela when I download the YouTube and my ballet from Venezuela show me every day I could know where they go on the street of Venezuela because I got one your car and YouTube there where they download video.
Okay.
It's a good point you're raising there, John. I'll tell you, I would agree with you that the squeaky wheel get the most grease. But I always say it all the time is that the majority of people are looking to do good things. You know, whether it is that they're going to school in terms of for young people or you're doing your entrepreneurial ventures. So I concur with you.
Well, try make you cut off this thing. This is where the information and the knowledge come in, brother. If you not give me the information, I can't plan. You the economist. It's based on information. If I don't have it, I can't plan. Then now make I ask you one question again now. Darrell, you too. Where have all the Mennonites gone? Darrell, you see them in the market then couple months? Then couple weeks?
A few of them. A few. Yes.
All right, good. I like that you at least a few.
Yeah.
Then Ghana, Peru.
Then they build up Troy. Then they build up Darrell. When they come back, tomatoes will be $5 a pound because then they control the market. They're not joke with it.
All right.
So they are the kind of where they come down to the people the people there will know, and the people who want to help this third group, where you talk about where I don't say they suffer because they got a lot of vehicles, and vehicles take gas, and gas expensive right now. But I say is that the future look bleak for them. That's why we are the talk about when we talk about the business hour.
Okay.
Now, Troy, again, make I hit this thing, Troy, because I know why you have to tell me make I wrap up, because I wrap up now.
All right, good. Self-censored.
Troy,
Self-censored.
big movie, no, Troy. No,
Uh-huh.
Troy, I passionate, Troy, very passionate about this development where they happen in front of Dangriga region. So he has changed the face and how we think like Dangriga by millions.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Wait.
the business part of it
And the
is
pair?
that we as a Dangriga no one participate because I'll give you one typical example. This culture about thing about this punta. Troy, I want you to be honest with me very well. If you go in our punta show and you see a nice Spanish girl half naked, the dance punta better than other you're going.
Why? But Punta for everybody now, man. Punta has taken over.
The point is that which one will get the vote. That's the point that I try to show you as an economist, Darrell. Now, I know this beat the Garifnaness, and I like to see the girl then cover down, and then you anticipate where they go underneath. But they know where they say that that's not a business thing. We have to organize, separate, with a different approach, with the knowledge where the people there, where the starting people are supposed to gain, so they could start them people in the right place, in the right direction, so we participate.
Okay.
That my problem that the participation in this big thing where it happen, you know, Troy.
Okay.
They're not going to come up and watch and see how I will benefit.
All right.
How we will benefit.
Seize the moment, John. Seize the moment.
Hey, Troy, now move.
All right.
Anyway, Troy, I'm glad that you and Darrell big enough that have the opportunity, and I know anybody could deal with this fan love because love is everywhere.
I hear you.
Love,
Yeah, John. Later.
All right, good. Yeah, John.
Yeah. Hang on.
Mm.
Yeah, but
John
but I
interesting,
think
man.
it's
John
a.
wants this Spanish woman dancing.
I know.
You know?
I know. Make John came along the rabbit hole, but I think the point is, one I think I do agree with him is that we put a lot of emphasis on the areas that are not working for us, and the reason we do that is that we're trying to fix that too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it is one of the glaring things, especially when you look at the crime situation, because that comes to the forefront. You know, they says that the thing always bubble to the top.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that is why sometimes we spend a lot of effort
just this
and energy
afternoon,
on it.
a shooting, man.
Yeah,
you know?
a kid get killed. They
Yeah.
say probably as a robbery for a chain. Imagine the nonsense of that. You lose your life for that stupidness. Good night, caller.
Good night, gentlemen. Good night. Darrell,
Boy,
good night.
Don
Yes,
Hector
Don Hector,
is
good
in
night.
the house.
Good night. Good night.
The good news is the Halover Bridge, the old Halover Bridge, will now be a new Halover Bridge, and it's going to be very near completion. It's going to open one of a vast developed area. On Sunday, my nephew Dan Silva took me to see that area. I thought it was all bush. You cross over by the Halover, you turn right, Arcade Road to Spanish Lookout, and from there you take the Yalbak Road. And I went as far as the border with Orange Road. To me, it was something like a dream. And all along for miles and miles are cattle ranches, farms with coconut, vast amounts of coconut trees, and they have each and giant cultivation. I thought that the bridge was only going to be solved the little villages, the 7 villages. Man, it extends nearly as close to Orange Road. So I believe that that might be the route to connect Orange Road with Kyle District, more or less Belmopan. That's what now of great concern is to see the amount of people that were in church this weekend.
Oh, wow.
It was by I would say thousands, if you come from morning until evening. It was a flow of people, when I tell you, buses from Stanford, pickups from the valley, the river valley, well, it was
nearly the whole of Belize was practically there.
Oh,
And I said to myself, well, what is happening? We have so many merchants here selling the same thing that Melchor is selling, baking powder, the flour, and the other thing. But Melchor is far cheaper.
Mm.
This is something that I think the chamber, well, I don't think the chamber will do that, but some ministry should see this flow of people rushing to Melchor.
Belizean dollars, yeah.
yeah, they're saying the area is low, Giovanni, for the
And
caller.
I blame, and my mind immediately Ghana said, we have an unbridled merchant community that raise their price to the maximum. They are raising their prices of goods totally out of touch. But Melchor is the one that is reaping the benefit.
Oh, wow.
I was concerned because our dollars are leaving, but at the same time I was happy for those people that went there to buy their children's school uniform, their socks, the beans, man, it was something tremendous.
Yeah.
What a thing. So I meant to say, I said to me that somebody has to say something about what is occurring.
Okay.
Because actually let's say, yeah, our dollars are leaving them.
Yeah.
Let's call it that way, because they redeem their Belize dollars back into America and they come over and get the U.S. exchange.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good, so that's
All right. Thank you, Don Hector.
Yeah,
You
very
know,
good one.
and most of the time people they kind of blend these things and call it an outing. I hear it all the time, especially Melchor and Chetumal, because of the proximity in terms, especially the border towns.
Yeah.
And yes, it has always been a problem or a concern for the most part from an economical standpoint about the flight of our revenue going over the border to help develop other jurisdiction, like in Guatemala and in Chetumal, Mexico. Because when we don't go across, they know, they feel it economically. All during the time whenever there was that problem with the heavy gang-related issues around Chetumal and the people traveling there had been reduced, they quickly found way to try to induce us to and
get
attack
us
us over
back,
there.
Yeah.
Good night, caller.
Hello, gentlemen.
Yes,
It's good to
hello.
hear from you, brother. You have been missing all this while.
Well, forget to difficult, At times it's difficult, at times it's easy. I know there's no chase down Hector, man.
Oh, goodness.
We chased Don Hector. Why I said anything about Don Hector?
Yeah, Don Hector, good. But listening to Don Hector, my mind gone past, then the Beliwa Bridge from to crossing to Santa Familia.
Yes.
I don't know if it's done or it ain't
That's
done.
what he was talking about. That's what he was talking about.
So whenever I get on clear, because I had to put up the audio so I could make
Yes.
Anyway, I tell myself, very good. Nothing will happen before the time. You have to go improvements because that is the man's base that we have. But the how we do it and for how long we do it. And if we think for tomorrow, I understand the bridge, that only for one stream we're going to call one lane. One stream. For go one stream, like the Hartsford Bridge. God, we know laugh on the Hartsford Bridge. The same thing here in Belize City. And I want to sit down the record because I want to tell me, all right, Jerry Water there. yeah. In parallel with Coney Drive. Then the concrete one street, my friend, higher than the people's then property. And when the heavy rain comes, no, act of God like hurricane, normal heavy rain, the water sinking at the street, no got nowhere for go nowhere going in at the people's and property, Lord. That's why me can't prove fraud, you know. But I could prove misuse of public funds if that's the big construct. Anyway,
Okay.
thanks, my friend.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good.
You need to take a look at some of the height of the road on the Philip Golson, where you could literally see the houses way down there. And we've mentioned this on this show that the people out of Ladyville itself who find themselves at a lower position than the new road that is being built needs to have some kind of plan, get some sandbags and get some other else things, because trouble is ahead as well. So you have improvement, and it is a very good improvement. You can't knock the improvement, but at the same time it highlights other weakness
One of the
and weak
upside
areas.
that I'm seeing that they're doing from an engineering standpoint is they're putting in drains on the side of the roads. We just have to make sure that the vents
Clean out,
the vents are
Yeah.
always clean, and we have the ability to flush them out, because obviously they're going to tie it into the Belize River. That's the plan. But the drains are being literal drains with concrete, made out of concrete blocks and all of that. So they're doing a pretty decent job, especially in the urban areas of Ladyville. So that entire stretch is from Lodge Bank all the way down to the airport junction
Right.
is going to be boxed in by drain.
Yeah.
So that's an upside to kind of collect as much water as they possibly can to be able to distribute it, so that it doesn't really flow into people's property. And I'm talking with the populated area, no?
Yeah.
So the other areas that they've elevated, and so sometimes have minimal properties or residential in those areas. So we just have to look at that from that standpoint, because those areas were already low. When it rained in that area, the road was flooded. Small vehicles had difficulty passing. So all of that is a situation where I think that's why they put in the drains.
Yeah, and then some of the houses weren't built on like 3 block heights or 4 block heights or right in. They built right there on the low end. And I'm saying that moving forward, you have to go 3 block heights or 4 or 5. I've seen a 5 block height house now. There are 3 in terms of settlement and in terms of where they happen wrong. So you can't just build at that low level, because we're then in a situation where any improvements will then expose you to water, don't expose you to flooding or what have you.
Yeah, and what happens is that whenever they construct new roads, you try to build it up, because you understand it was already a
to
low.
the city, the entrance of the city on the George Price right now, people can't figure out how high grade that is. How high grade underneath of the hole, right underneath of the drain hole. That's where the road will be going.
And like I said, it's a helpful thing, because the drains, the water from the street should run off in the drains.
Yes.
The drains are they're good size. They're good size drains, and if it's connected properly for the outflow, and that's the plan. You know, I can't create a negative for something that I consider to be positive.
Yeah.
So it would be kind of foolhardy for me to start to complain about the improvement that they're doing when we haven't even have it completed yet.
Yeah.
You know, and because you could see it's a progress, and you could see how it will be able to work if you're paying attention. You could see that it wouldn't be that detrimental, but persons, like you say, have to pay attention. You know, and it's not to say that the water will run in your yard or anything like that if it is that you have proper drainage. So the idea is drainage. We have problems as individuals. One, we know like clean or drain, we know like keep our properties clean, or If we have bridges, we now either have culverts or sometimes we do construction and we block up the drain.
Yeah.
We create some of the problems ourselves and then we don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
And then we look to the authorities over and over to bail us out because they never come cut the grass or they never this. Cut your grass onto your place now, man. I mean have a little bit of civic pride.
Right.
You know, you can't you have a responsibility to keep your environment, and if everybody kept their environment clean, then you would have no problem. You know, we would have no problems at all. We get our drains, we each connect up each other, and we finally to the water runoff into the sea or the river or wherever it is that it empties into. But we don't do that. We don't do that. We left the grass and we complain, and then the man come and cut it, and then he left it right on the side of the road, or he dig out the drain and the thing stay there.
Wow.
We never even try go up and wheelbarrow and try scrape it in for we yard for helpful it. We left it there, and then it started to dam up the road as well. With everything, and I could point to all of these things that we create.
Yeah.
We created, you know. So
But Don Hector Wiley, to big up the bridge and so forth, we had also put
I'm not quite sure the bridge is one way or two lane. I'm not going to take Mr. Torres' word for it.
Right, because it don't wide enough for 2 lane. Wiley, to big up the bridge and what have you, we also had put in a request for a piece of that bridge so that it could have been put at mile 25 on the George Price, where it connects over the river to St. Paul's, and that would allow the people from the River Valley not to have to come all the way around and then go up to mile 25 in order to traverse. So we haven't been able to get it, but we hope that maybe the old bridge, which is beside the new bridge at Boom, is usable in terms of that.
That kind of usable. Good night, caller. That pitted.
Good night. The business hour.
Yeah, Raj, what's up?
I have to put in a leave on this one. Darrell know me, and I have to this a big up the Minister of Education, Francis Fonseca Faye. Well, put the bill back on the hand way, something where I never like when you do, and they will put back now. And I like it that they ask the money to keep the kids off the street. Because the IT vet and when the IT vet know and get involved with the vacation training school, which I was a part of, that is important to me. That way, when they drop the ball and you have to go through technical to do that, and they cut off the education from the training school, it hurt. But now this is good that you are emphasized. 1967, 68, my father was one of the principal man to make sure that vacation school for the guys they can't make it go to standard 6 after that, so that you drop out. When they let go, you have to go through technical. It hurt. It put kids on the street and I just give one thing there. Linda Rogers was a when he was 11 years old.
Oh, wow. Right? Great.
Yeah, he got 3, Darrell, he got 3 sons I could tell about. One was a welder, was Carly. Ryan was a tailor. And I myself was a plumber.
Yeah.
He said, boys, could handle yourself because they're welding and with the right one day, could be Dr. Galaya, but have to work and make money. You understand me? And in a early the 80s and late 70s, I was at least one of the 5 plumber there on this earth, and still up on the earth. But I'm saying that I'm glad that they will put that money, and you have to keep the kids there off the streets there, because that's one of the things that care the young boy there on the street. Because they see what they do, they rob us. So you got to make them know when they got good welders, if they never let go, but they have to go through technical, and they don't want to go through technical. You understand me? And so when they drop the ball on that, so I'm glad that they have take that back and say, okay, we are emphasize, and then guys when they come out of school, we got to get the trade thing going, and that will help. Because you remember, you
Yes,
I
yes.
am a plumber, and we do a lot of plumbing. I do a lot of plumbing for this belief.
Yeah.
So it's important that we keep the kids in, and I'm glad that as I have to big up Francis Fonseca, the minister, because he put it back and make I tell you so, lady. You don't got no problem because get some other body don't want to call in the Roger 1953 and 52. He made himself illegal lottery and he becomes the biggest man in this country. One of the second biggest man. I tell Troy already. You know he's the godfather of this nation.
Yeah.
So, if the name want to believe. So, but he may push that with that vacation. He make I go when I 11. I got in a man named Philip Neal, and I get 50 cents a week up on weekend, and that is important. When I remember I do a plumbing just to give one thing. I do a plumbing and I work for a bankman, and when you done, you know the bankman tell me, if ever does, you know what I do. I will left this bank and I going to be plumber.
Yeah.
He said the guy you charge, I tell her, you wife go play the waste and not charge you. So and I build my first house at 28. You understand me?
Yeah.
Wow.
You get
Yeah.
me? So like I said, they there. And you know the song say, if the man, no mean if you jacket or tie, he's still a man.
Yes.
Walk barefoot, he's still a man. And respect me there. I work for all the good contractors in the early days there. But I'm glad, I say, I have to big up the Minister of Education.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah.
It's done, and then they take the body, the money, guy, like that, $1 million, about the coal bar, you and anything there. My father was that, and end up the United Nations, that
Yes.
Boutros Ghali, Google Boutros Ghali. I could tell you all you want to, you know, have to train Bobby Pa. Boutros Ghali say, when he hear my pa, he tell, where university gone? The man never gone alone. So he say, you can't do nothing. That's the gift, and the guy have to tell side. And the delegation when they gone with Dr. Schumann.
Yeah.
So that's where the man come deliver. And I used to go plumbing for George Price, personally. And
Very good.
He couldn't make it. So respect a man. But I'm glad I say, and they big up this have to big up the Honorable Francis Fonseca, that they push that, like you got to keep the guys out of the street, man. You got too much man on the street, and they look for rob you. No, watch this, no, if you're chain, you get where they come from.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a shame.
Ridiculous.
So
Yeah.
we got to get back the kids there, the work and show education. We got a lot of welders, plumbers, anybody when you get to do trade right now, they charge that of money. Because that's a trade of money. You understand me? No
Yes,
shame
man.
about that.
No
you
shame.
Understand me?
Good for you,
All right,
fireman.
Yeah, man. Take care of my
Take
body.
care. Yes, man.
Yeah.
All
Sure.
right, the business over.
Business
Yes.
hour. Yes, man.
And we the old school, my brethren. Today, my next door neighbor came by, Dice, and his glass is stuck in his door. But because we do fixtures on the internal side of the door, I have a concept and an idea what needs to be done. And we play with it, and take down the inside, take down or what have you, and was able to get the glass back up. But that was because we've been there. We've taken out the inside already. Many vehicles to do the upholstering side of it and put back the little, handles and what have you.
The issue here is the technical and vocational schools will get their own legislation now. So the governing policy will be more tailored toward vocational education. And so it's not overlap or mix up with the academia.
Okay.
Good night, caller.
I call again in reference to drainage. No?
Sure.
I can tell 100 and a million times, hello,
Yeah.
you're not getting me?
Yes.
All right. Yes, I could prove 1 billion times that Belize City got drains, but it no got drop off. Because the base of the drain is level with the creeks and the canals. Okay, you have to block and pump. You see what happened at Cesar Ridge because of Ernesto Torres' slick mode of thinking. They shut it down, but they know it's either because of Torres, because of this mode start a holla. How the hell you when they pump water into the sea, and what you the pump automatically comes immediately for replenish. So, but I cannot speak about the Northern Road on the Song Highway, the Northern Road, and well, yes, it look nice, but little do we know that you will use that space just like how you use Boulevard and Belize City, Princess Margaret Drive, St. Thomas, no highway, road, and it should be used in accordance to laws of road, no highway no go along. But nevertheless, coming back to the drainage, I want that a drain when flow the water where they run off at the pavement or concrete. How the one from the private properties, people residency and so where that will run to? Lordy. Anyway.
Good.
Good night again.
Good night.
Thanks for the input. Yeah, certainly.
Go ahead.
No, I was seeing this evening a drain that never cleared out for maybe 20 years being cleared out. So, you know, some works are being taken very serious, and that is a key move.
We made the point, and I think everybody understand the low-lying area of Belize City.
Mm-hmm.
But Highland are prone for flooding too. Belmopan had flooding just the other day. Whenever you get a large collection of water all at once or in a short period of time, you have to give time for runoff. You know, people don't like to have these sort of comparison, but I understand that when it happens to you at the point in time, it does affect you, traumatize you sometimes, especially if it is that you get damages or you get caught up in areas where maybe you get frightened that you might go under in terms of the water and the flooding, because sometimes it can really get extremely high.
Oh, yes.
But in other jurisdictions, you get flooding too.
Mm-hmm.
Flooding is not confined only to Belize. New York City flood, Miami flood, you pick it, name it, in the first world, yeah. Texas flood, Paris flood, everywhere flood. Because everybody get a lot of rain sometime, at least one time for the year you get
pour down,
that the system can handle it.
Right.
The trick is how quickly does the water recede. That's important. The Belmopan thing happened, bam. But within an hour or two, based on the information they tell me, because I wasn't there, that the water run off rather quickly, and they're still trying to figure out, but people are saying that this is not the first time that has occurred, because when you heard it, it's almost as though that this is something that didn't happen before.
Yeah.
No, the issue here is, I'm just trying to point out, it is that it's not for us to panic, because we have to understand in terms of Belize City. You pointed out, if you're constructing, you might want to invest in elevation as high as you possibly can afford.
Yes.
If you can't, then you have to understand that nature and infrastructure catch up with you over time, because you're not unique. That as development continues, you then find yourself. Many times you find that some buildings get totally abandoned, some sink over time.
Yes.
We look at the highway, people had to just abandon their homes because, you know, the geo condition, the geotech condition was not conducive to hold up the weight in those areas. Whether you want to say build upon peat and so, I don't need no geological lesson. The bottom line is these things happen. You know, and in any business, you take a risk when you're constructing, when you put up your roof, whatever it is. When a hurricane comes, you kind of thought that it could have hold up, and then you end up with issues with your roof or some parts of your building. These things happen. So what I'm trying to most time discuss with Belize, and let's not throw away the baby with the bathwater. You have the construction of the road, and you're already disfiguring the project, and you're not done yet. And I'm saying, what is wrong with us? You know, we want good roads. We have significantly good roads from north to south, east to west.
Yes.
You know, and I
Totally
always
agree
say
with
we go to these small Caribbean islands and they don't have the best roads, and our infrastructure could wrap around those small islands, you know, over and over and over. It is expensive to do infrastructure in this country because we are sparsely populated, and our size becomes our enemy sometimes, you know, because of the distance. But that's not a reason for mediocrity. I'm just pointing out that when you compare, you have to compare like with like. You can't compare Barbados with us, because that's a little island that's the size of San Pedro, have no kind of size, have no farmland, no big farmland, and no lot of sugar roads and all of these things to repair and deal with, and telephone. Oh, you want telephone? You could probably run, you know, from one pole to the next, a couple poles, and you run off of the island. You know, though that's a totally different scenario than dealing with 8,867 square miles.
True.
And we all clump together. We spread out. You know, PG 170 odd miles away from Corozal. But if we want to connect up Corozal and PG to be able to have communication, we have to spend on the infrastructure. And that is expensive, not only to build from a capital expenditure, but also from a recurrent maintenance standpoint. You know, and this is not just, and nobody not tell me about, that if they thief less, and that is that kind of foolhardy talk that we get into, that sort of distort the conversation.
Oh,
But
yeah,
whatever that conversation is, you keep it there.
Yeah.
You know, and deal with it there. But at the end of the day, we have to recognize that we have certain issues we have to deal with. And those issues have a cost and a value to it. And so when you put that together and you start to compare with others, that's why sometimes I don't hang my hat a lot of on statistics, especially as it relates to the Caribbean. Because they are small islands. And so they don't have some of the pains that we have. They can't experience it.
Yeah.
They can't have migration problem to the level we have, because they don't have no Guatemalan to walk over 174 miles a border that we have to protect. We don't have no Salvadorians or no Honduranians walking over. We have to worry about sea, and we have to worry about land. They are sea surrounded, so you're not going to boat, you can't reach there. Good night, caller.
Yeah, your defense argument about my
Me name
submission.
I didn't even think about what you say. What you say? What you said that I did defend.
And I cannot tell word for word. I'm not getting you clear. I cannot tell word for word what you have been saying.
So how you know I
But
did
you
defend
to
something?
defend an area, my brother, you to defend an area we are not even the engineers they had realized. Because we failed on the blueprint that they left for us. Those canals, to wit, Collet and East Canal, were not solved for drainage. They were solved for taking the mess that we used to lay there on the surface of the water, or on the water, from point A to point B. That when it rained, it flushed out. That was used to be for we flush out in Jayo drink there. And what happened up to when we concrete the base? Because remember now, I want to take over the show for a little bit. King Street and all the streets that run across the canal of East and West Canal, they used to put floodgate so that when high rise, you know, get into the street, brothers. Please, I could recall that I used to make some
You know
boats
what you're
out of
talking
paper, and me and my friends, I used to play boat race, and we used to have drop-off, Daly Street, King Street, Handyside Street, all over Eve Street. That was the old Belize City. We gone concrete. Do you know what is meant by the force of the water? Gravity. So when the heat is on, the water sink. And when the high tide comes in the evening or in the night, it comes from the sea, how the sea name by Lord Ridge, and it flush it out to the canal, to the Hallova Creek. He flush it out, not everything, but the Hallova Creek water never used to come into these canals. I remember one month there, and when at the high tide comes, I used recall. You could recall one time they used to.
So wait to tell me you want to go back to the old days, and is that what it is?
Man, we changed the blueprints of the old. I don't want to go back.
So what did but I don't get your point. I try to get your point. It's just that you want to tell us you remember what used to be then. We are making the point. I made the point. Listen to me. I listen to you. Listen to me, man.
Build house way lower than the street.
Yeah, you can't talk together. Yeah, you can't talk together. You don't like listening. That's your problem.
We can build house lower than the street.
Yeah, but you don't like listen. That's why. Go ahead. Finish.
I call for talk because none of us.
Yeah, but I don't make you talk. I don't make you talk, and then but the point is, this has nothing to do with experience. This will have to do with the fact that you want to be critical just for critical sake. You critical without having any substance to the discussion. I know how to judge your statements.
No relevant, only when you.
No, I am saying to you.
You the talk show, you the no specialist. You the talk show host, you the no specialist.
But you are not either. You are not a specialist. What are you a specialist in? What is your specialty? What is your specialty?
Huh?
What is your
traffic, my brother? And the road traffic?
I don't know that. You are self-proclaimed. You are self-proclaimed.
I will deal with congestion. For we run off the congestion.
Anyways, I doesn't mess with you. I doesn't mess with you. I'm not going to argue with you. I doesn't mess with you.
The public, they listen. And I'll win this election next year.
All right.
Independent mayor.
I know. Later.
All right. I love it. Independent mayor coming up.
Indeed. My point is that we are a nation that has to understand what's our limitations and what is our advantage. And that's something that we oftentimes don't want to recognize, that we have a lot of good things going on for us as well, and we have to embrace it. I am not going to be Chicken Little, but at the same time, I'm not going to tell you that the streets are paved with gold either. I'm not going to try to sell that to you. The reality is you can see and feel and touch that for yourselves. Mm-hmm. But we have to embrace the opportunities. Nobody tells nobody to go and shoot a kid with a chain on a motorcycle. That's who you want to blame for that? Some white man in New York or in London? It's us. Somebody that look like me and you and Torres and everybody else. It's one of those persons, one of us. So I'm trying to make the point that we have to look inwards. We have to look at ourselves every time we have something. And I would listen to callers, and we're looking for somebody to lay fault. We're looking to be a Donald Trump. And not understanding it's your decision. The reason why we're at war is because you decided to go to bomb Iran. Nobody can't blame anybody else.
Yeah.
You're the one that is putting the world on a stress with fuel costs. So you have nobody to blame. And so the same thing, whoever pulled the trigger has nobody to blame.
Yeah.
Why would we be looking for somebody to blame? Because somebody didn't do something is that going to be the response and the excuse and the justification for that?
Yeah,
When are we going to pass that hurdle and let everybody be responsible for their actions? The same way you're saying that this one and that one in government and that one supposed to be responsible, then every single person out there who is perpetrating criminal activity, whether white or blue collar, is doing it on their own accord. And they must stand and be responsible. I don't need no fancy anthropologist who can give me no academic position. We know that. We grew up here. We live here. We experience it. We see the change. We know the change. We see it. And that's what I'm trying to use this platform to say, let's look at ourselves. And when you see things going awry, start from small. You see a child, you have to keep embracing within that family structure so that they don't fall into that trap that's out there in the streets, and then we end up with these sort of insidious actions.
Sad situation, very sad situation in the streets.
You know that those things just tax my mind. I don't know these people, but my God, imagine the trauma that family is going through. You know, 18-year-old, all their life ahead of them.
Well, not very far from us on Bannock Street, you had one of the twins them that were shot in the Cayo area.
In Unitedville?
Yeah, and then they had the funeral right there on Saturday. And then we had several little action going on as well. You know, people being released from the Raccoon station, and by the time they get around on Iguana Street, they were shot at. But we says kudos to the police because their reaction and mobility was really, really on time and really tapper. And so you have to give credit where credit is due.
And John is correct that we spend a lot of energy on a small population. And there is the majority of us, a majority of Belizean people who are doing well, looking forward to improving their lives and all of that. I mean, when you look at the economy, for all intent and purposes, most persons who want to work can work.
Yes.
Good night, caller.
Yeah. Hello.
Go ahead.
You're on.
Yeah, try.
Yes, sir.
One time I agree with you, man, because we're party shooting happened right front of Swift Parlor, so we don't want nobody figure like that, no, due to the error or nothing like that, you know?
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
We got you.
We want people know that know the error, there's also a moment that happened there.
Yeah.
Swift cool, no problem, no, they happen there.
I know. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Nothing they happen like that I hear they cool.
I know the area very well. My team practices there.
I hear I do a party, there's we play football out at area there, and then they happen there. That's a coincidence. So people have like Martins this, Martins that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I have not singled out. I didn't single out any area.
That I hear about that happen, right?
Yeah.
I don't say the boy that does the devil up or do things at the wrong spot.
Yeah.
They go play basketball, they play football, they do all kind of things there, and nothing like that no happen there. Those two are coincidence.
Yeah, my team practices there at night as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I got leaving the 23rd August to the on Pussy Flowers.
All right.
The 23rd August, right?
Tell
and
me.
I invite the young people for 11, 12, or 13 to go play football. Our over party game. So, we know what people figure like back there up badness all kind of thing by football. And not go on there like that. I just have a coincidence up there and a man drop down there. But we never like him try.
Tell me.
Everybody stay front of the man, they take a picture and the man face bloody. Nobody know what call 911.
Yes, I believe it's in 2026.
Believe people got so bad style. Why they want to take a half this man picture, brother?
Yeah.
Why do that?
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I agree with the caller. I used to fall for my semi-pro basketball team. That's where we practice most nights.
Okay.
When we're practicing within Belize City. So I concur. It's an area that I feel relatively comfortable
Safe,
going. I go there almost most times when they're practicing. So and I've gone to many events there, so I'm familiar with the area. Like I said, it's unfortunate, these things, and like I said, I didn't single out any particular area. I'm just talking in general our action, because it's something that it kind of bothered me, when I heard the news and I read the issue, and it said probably because it's a robbery for a chain. I'm like,
wow.
I thought, hopefully we may have graduated from those kind of situations. So it's sad, and then my mind went to the family, as to how that grieving process, going to be handled. That's extra devastating. I don't have really have much words for it, and condolences to that family as well. But I mean, fundamentally, that shouldn't take away from all the effort that persons like the caller is doing to get young people to have alternative things to do. Because people are trying to do things to kind of make sure that our young people stay on the straight and narrow as best as they can, and they make their necessary investment. I mean, Belize is building a big chunk of its economy on tourism, and it means that it's the interaction of our people. Because one of the selling point, one of the valuables that we get is our people. People like coming here because we're friendly, we're deemed to be nice people, and we have other things going on. We have our Mayan ruins and or temples, for that matter, or sea, sun, and so we got the sargassum, but that's all over in terms of the Atlantic and the Caribbean basin. You can't escape. Once
our
you come
women
in
in
here.
craft and our men in craft are producing very nice items for
So a lot
sale.
to see, a lot to do.
You
And so we have all of this going on for us at this point in time. We're doing improvement on the airport to have the experience for travelers to have a better experience coming into Belize. We're improving our roadways. We've improved our domestic airline, try to make it much safer. I think we have a decent ferry system on the sea, again, making sure that everybody stays safe. Those are fundamental. But we have a lot of things, and people are doing things. We have a lot of small businesses, as you pointed out, that are doing things. So we can't just have everything else throw away because we might have an incident with some issue with government, with the payment thing, because that's every time people would having a good conversation, somebody want to bring it back to that, and I'm saying that's fine, keep it there, keep the politics side, keep the spotlight on it, for that purpose, but that should not negate us having to do things. And that's why I said several times that the government has to continue to govern. Have your house meeting, you continue to pass your bills, and because you have to continue to govern, because not because there's one issue that's occurring that you feel is egregious that the world stops. Doesn't. You have to continue. You have to continue to govern. You have to continue to do things. You have to continue to progress. And that is something that is built into the system. Because the government has to continue to govern, school will have to be open, and kids will go back to school, and so on. And those young kids are the ones that are going to be our future. So please, we don't get distracted and stay focused on growing. Let whoever, if there's anything that was committed against society, then let the chips fall where they may. But that shouldn't stop us from looking for the opportunity and seizing the moment.
And I wanted to highlight the loss of many lives in Guyana with the loss of that ferry that went down. And certainly, when you get accustomed to breaking the rules and they maintain the boat, and you have so many people climbing up on top of the same boat, you will have accident, and that accident led to a lot of death. and we send our sincere condolence to them. We also had another ferry that sank, but thank God people didn't show up on time to save all the people who were on that one. And
We're in Guyana too?
not in Guyana, but certainly we look and send our condolence to them. You know.
Yeah, and you know, as you pointed out, we're going through this process of inflation, and so it's important that we focus as individuals to be extremely thrifty. Again, that's my ultimate calling to you guys. So I just want to urge you that, you know, we're going to continue to have the problems with fuel because the situation in the Strait of Hormuz is still very tense. There's not a free flow of traffic through there at this point in time. That's a chokehold point.
Yeah.
That is creating a problem for the entire globe. So, and that will be with us for some while more. So we have to be cognizant and take advantage of all the opportunities to save money, like the GST free weekend and all of that for those persons who need to have young kids and so on, need to get their supplies and so. Take advantage of it because many of the merchants are going to be giving a lot of discounts, so you're going to be able to earn more discounts than the 12.5%. Check out Nix and Nack, 610-1961. Give them a call. Check out their Facebook page, 610-1961, 60 Grand Street. Say good night to both my granddaughters, Anna and Taylor, as well as Is, my grandson, and we trust that, you know, they won't be sleeping. They're
listening.
They're out of the country, but they're listening.
They're on Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're certainly tuned in. So I want to say pleasant good night to them, as well as my wife Carmita as well. And of course, you know, check us out tomorrow morning, where we will be doing the morning show with myself and Ernesto. God's willing, we should be here tomorrow morning.
All right. Bev and Arthur, we say good night to you. Bev Mom as well. Keisha and Willie, I got to say good night to you too. Eleanor Lang. And certainly Miss Arana, who is a great cook right out there at Constitution Park. Michael Henley and Mrs. Henley listening to the show right now. Wayne Henley, I haven't forgotten you. The Ball, Lanza, and the Herrera family. And certainly more Henleys, which is Owen, Shedrack, and Margaret. And as we cross over the river into Flowers Bank, we got to big up the people them over there, the Rayburn and the Robinson family. The Flowers family as well. Miss Smith, who is a cheerleader, and the members of the committee over there. And certainly when we come around, Miss Ann Gillett, Liel, who listens to us on in the U.S., and certainly the Bullwood Wine. All you people in that area as well. As in Landing, I have Miss Rosalind there, and then the Smith, her children, the Smiths, right out there, and certainly all our listeners. To Miss Wade out there in Crooked Tree, Groove, and your family, the guys hanging out at the Chinese shop, we say good night also to you folks. To my brother listening in Canada, James Lightburn, and my sister as well, Angela Usher, and certainly Errol Burger King, we haven't forgotten you. Errol had been doing great burgers, and I know Errol, and keep it up, Errol. Show. And certainly Motive, and certainly Tracy, and certainly Murty, and St. Michael's. A special good night to you guys. To Darrell Dice Brooks, we say get well, my beloved brother, to you and your family. And certainly Bala, who listens to the show and is able to tell me a whole heap a lot of things that he heard. Special good night to you. Kokos, missing you today. Certainly Wani, and in that conversation, Wayne Hope, and Wayne Hope, is backed up by Buck, the barber Buck, and certainly Mud, who takes care of fixing vehicles and what have you, and Willie White, and his knock shop right there in Raccoon Street, and certainly Mommy Scott, who I believe take off on a plane. We gotta say big up to all you guys as well. Peter Carter, Tony Novello, who recently celebrated his birthday too, and certainly next door Miss Doll, and when you deal at Rose Jr., Glenn, I haven't forgotten you, and Lady, and certainly to Brenda Lee, the great cook, and certainly do hair, do a whole heap, a lot of things, catering as well, and over the weekend you had potato pong along with that, but it did bread and bun. And I keep on telling Chairman, if you call late on a Saturday, it's done, it's finished, Troy. It's gone, you know. Put in your order, certainly this Friday coming up, and certainly come early, get your stuff, and take it from there. To the Parham family in the alley, certainly Judith and her family that listens to the show as well. Cece and Basil, when you hear Basil, then you hear Crewell and his family next door as well. And certainly Delroy and the guys them over at the mechanic shop in Burgess Yard. We say special good night to you, buddies, as we hail up Burr, the Herreras, and certainly my shop, Fire on the Boulevard, right there, Lucky Star 2, right at the corner of the boulevard. There we certainly big them up. Charles Amanera, and certainly daughters and son, and certainly Dunsar Keys, his dad at Belize Foam, as we come down. Cutties, I haven't forgotten you, and coming down to Supreme Meats and to Miss Wilma's Pharmacies, and certainly to the Supreme Burger right next door. To my kind of store, which is Habit and Habit, which I got a chance to see Olga. I walk in and I see Jeannie, she's back, and certainly Carmita and Miss Marsh. And I'm also able to see Match now and then, Match Jr. and certainly Mrs. Match, mother-in-law that listens to the show, Miss Lisa, Miss Cho, Dino, Basil, and all you wonderful guys, folks that sell from a nail all the way to anything we want in the house, you could get right there at Habit and Habit. To V's Diners right next door, M&M's, Lumber Yard, certainly Community Drug Store, and to our guys that has his taxi stand right there, Percy Reynolds, and you guys over at the Constitution taxi stand, we say special good night to you, and I know that you are listening. To Miss Hope at the foot of the King Street Bridge, we say good night to you, and certainly Cedric Flowers and your group accounting firm, DITS, over 65 years, Miss Sanchez, who listens to the show, worked at DITS, special good night to you too, our number one washer next door, and the ladies who keeps King Street still alive, like Miss Tucker, the ladies that run Posh, that runs those little stores right over on the right hand side, and into Armin's Buddy Norman that does the hops right there, Jerry Brother that has taken over the cart, and certainly into Trims that give you your threads, your zippers, and certainly your elastics, anything you need in that line, and into Mikado's, the store that has Albert Street holding up, and there I see Carolyn, I see Ter, I see all you, Anna, all you wonderful people that takes care of us when we walk in. We want fabric, we want upholstery material, you want any thing in those particular line right there in the store. To all the people who we meet from time to time who says, hey, we listen to the business hour, well, we're big up and we say thank you. As we says on behalf of Troy Peoples, thanks, and on behalf of Giovanni, who is our facilitator on television, thanks, and on behalf of Troy and myself and all of the callers, we say thank you. We are all of here, Belize, John, at the same time next week, as we says, we're gone, we're all of here.